shining salty ocean, off where the waves roll free. The sparkling water rises, then crashes to the sea. Out amongst the breakers, you'll have no need to fear. It's true, it's the blue frontier.
Welcome to the Rising Tide Ocean podcast. This is David Helvarg, and again, we have a special episode just for you. In May, the Peter Benchley Ocean Awards were held at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. They're named after the author of Jaws, who spent most of his subsequent life as a shark and ocean protection advocate. Following his passing in 2006, Blue Frontier partnered with his widow and adventure partner Wendy Benchley to create the awards, and today they've been revived by the Aquarium Conservation Partnership and, with over 80 winners to date, have become known as the Oscars of the Ocean. The 2026 award winners include Julie Packard of the Monterey Bay Aquarium, President Jose Manuel Bolero of the Azores, Congressman Huffman, Dr. Diva Amon, the ocean business Bureo, Marce Guiterez Graudins, the documentary Ocean with David Attenborough, and youth winner Coji Senanayake. Following are some inspiring excerpts from the evening ceremony and from the winners. President Bolero of the Azores, an autonomous region of Portugal, was the winner for excellence in national leadership for establishing an extensive marine protected area around his Atlantic islands, part of a global effort to protect 30% of the ocean by 2030.
From our 9 islands, volcanic islands, we stand quite literally in the middle of the ocean. And so we feel every day both the beauty and the vulnerability of the sea that surrounds us, the life that surrounds us. That geography imposes a responsibility. If we live from the ocean, we must also live for the ocean. In recent years, the Azores have undertaken an extremely ambitious effort, the creation of the largest network of marine protected areas in the North Atlantic. We have now, and it's a proud for me, we have now safeguarded 30% of our surrounding sea, covering almost 300,000 square kilometers. And this is our concrete contribution to the global 30 by 30 targets. This achievement was not made from an office or a single speech. It was built through dialogue and co-creation with fishers, scientists, youth, and the civil society. It reflects years of consultation, sometimes difficult conversations, and a shared conviction that a healthy ocean is not the enemy of prosperity. It is its foundation. And central to this journey has been the Blue Azores program, born from an innovative partnership between my government, the Oceano Azul Foundation, and the Waite Institute. Together, we have aligned political will, philanthropy, science, and community engagement around a single vision: to protect, promote, and value the marine natural capital of the Azores, a natural capital of the world.
Another winner for excellence in policy was Congressman Huffman of California, a longtime ocean and climate champion, who will become House Resources Committee chair if the Democrats take back the House in November.
The Monterey Aquarium is an institution that has really done more than just about anyone else that I can think of to deepen public understanding of marine ecosystems and inspire generations to fight for their protection. So I represent California's North Coast, from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Oregon border. And that means I have the benefit of representing and living in one of the most spectacular, ecologically rich coastlines anywhere on Earth. Ocean conservation is not just some narrow environmental issue for me and the communities I represent. It is who we are. It is our way of life. And the health of our ocean was inseparable from the health of our communities, our economy, our climate, and ultimately our future. We draw our cultural identity from the ocean, and yet this is a hell of a time. We are living through a moment when our ocean is under assault from nearly every direction. Our warming seas and ocean acidification infiltrating every level of the food chain, biodiversity loss is accelerating, and there are all these industrial pressures that are intensifying all of these stressors. And the science is telling us right now, this is a moment when we need stronger protections against all of these powerful forces, and yet it's also a moment where those industrial pressures are pushing to drag us in the other direction, in the wrong direction. This fight has absolutely permeated Congress. For the past 15 months, I've been leading Democrats just in an epic battle against attacks on our natural heritage and our bedrock environmental laws, unlike anything we have ever seen. And one of the cornerstones of our work has been protecting our coasts from reckless offshore drilling and dangerous fossil fuel expansion. But we are fighting against attempts to not just prevent us from doing that protection. This is a very real threat to open up the entire West Coast and the Arctic and many other places to a massive expansion of fossil fuel development, trying to fast-track drilling projects that threaten coastal communities, marine ecosystems, and the climate. And it's a moment for us as Californians, I think, to step up and lead, because our beautiful coastline, and really the coastlines for everyone around the world, are so much more valuable when they are covered by kelp forests and sea otters. We know where the value really is. It is not in fossil fuel development. But our challenge is not just to stop bad ideas. We also have to keep promoting our affirmative vision of restoration, resilience, science-based conservation. We are trying to strengthen coastal resilience programs, combat marine debris, plastic pollution, and working to reauthorize the Magnuson Act. We need to do that in a way that gives us climate-ready fisheries management, the ability to defend marine protected areas, of course, and expand ocean and climate science at a time when so many are trying to defund it, dismantle it, undermine it. It's kind of axiomatic that a healthy ocean and a strong economy go together, at least it should, and all of this work is about pursuing those two goals as part and parcel of one another. But as much as we can point to the things we're proud of that we've accomplished together over the years, we have prevented some of the worst possible outcomes, but candidly, our progress is not guaranteed right now in this moment. And every gain that we have made in protecting our oceans is right now contested. All of it is contested. Every safeguard is vulnerable. Every scientific truth seems to have an army of lobbyists trying to bury it right now. Advocates, educators, filmmakers, explorers, business leaders, public servants, all of you, people who understand that protecting the ocean is not optional. It is essential.
The Sustainable Business Award for the Bureo company that turns plastic fishing net into clothing and other products was presented by last year's winner, S.E. Johnson CEO Fisk Johnson, and accepted by Ben Neppers.
You know, as a lifelong diver, I've had the opportunity to see how the ocean ecosystems have deteriorated over the last 60 plus years, and I'm so appreciative of all the good work. But also, as a lifelong diver, you know, always remember the first sentence of Jaws. The great fish moves silently through the night water, propelled by short sweeps of its crescent tail. And what makes that line so unforgettable is the sense of something ominous moving just out of sight. You know, Peter Benchley in his great work gave us a fictional menace to fear in the water. But the threat we face today in our oceans is real, not imagined. And it is of our own making, not nature's. Today, one of the dangers in our oceans is plastic pollution. It's insidious, it is pervasive, it is persistent, and it is devastating. Bureo is directly reducing marine plastic pollution by removing one of the more harmful sources, discarded fishing nets, and transforming that waste into new products. Since 2013, they've collected more than 8 million kilograms of fishing nets, turning a major source of ocean waste into a valuable resource. Through partnerships with companies like Patagonia and their Net Plus material is now being used across the outdoor and apparel industry, replacing virgin plastic in millions of products and providing that scalable solutions are possible. In doing so, they've given us a model for how business can drive ocean renewal by aligning environmental progress, economic opportunity, and community partnership. Efforts like these are important, but they also reinforce how much more innovation is needed across industries. We need to find better business models, not only for plastic nets and bottles, but for a whole range of plastic products that might find their way into the environment and ocean.
As a young kid growing up in New England, I was enamored with the movie of Jaws. It was iconic for my generation, but we were terrified of sharks. And particularly for me, I remember anything in a small boat near a harbor mouth, I was convinced I was going to be swallowed whole by a shark. And spoiler, I'm still here, so that didn't happen. But I quickly got over that unrealistic fear, and I've spent, the last 30 years of my life in or around the ocean, kind of all over the world, and really learned to respect those majestic creatures, and certainly sharks are in that. And, taking those formidable years to spend time in and around the ocean, we really learned that there are killers out there, and the killers are in the form of ghost fishing nets. And that was something that my team and I learned about. We saw the plastic, we saw bottles and other types of material on beaches, but when we found out about the abundance of fishing nets being dumped or burned or left, it was something that we knew we had to do something about that. And we began that journey really targeted on that single mission. We saw plastic as this really complicated, ubiquitous problem all over the world. And we said, what if we could do one thing? If we could just focus on fishing nets. And thankfully, the government of Chile gave us an opportunity to set up, in 2013, the first fishnet collection in that country that would go on to kind of set the tone for us to become obsessed with this issue. And that really brought us to coastlines around the world. And with this journey, we've really taken on this responsibility that it is about the material that we collect and put back into products, but it's also about setting an example for the next generation about the ways that things can be done responsibly, not extractively. And this path really has resulted in over 8 million kilograms of material, which is a huge number for us, thinking about that material being kept out of the environment. But a bigger impact now that we think about is we're replacing the need for fossil fuel inputs. And so it's not just the plastic kept out of the ocean, but it's the material that we don't need to extract and the plastic that we don't need to create in the first place.
What is Rising Tide? Rising Tide is Blue Frontier's bi-weekly half-hour show that features a diversity of ocean voices, from the famous to the fascinating, deep sea explorers to whale wranglers, Arctic residents to climate justice warriors. With public broadcasting under attack, Blue Frontier offers Rising Tide and all associated content for free to community and public radio stations across the nation. We need your support to keep producing our salty, in-depth conversations. A tax-deductible donation at bluefront.org will help us keep getting the word out about our awesome blue planet. And now, back to the show.
Science winner Diva Amon is a deep-sea ecologist from Trinidad and Tobago and a leading voice in addressing the risks associated with deep-sea mining.
So many people think the deep ocean is a faraway, dark, cold, scary place, but the reality is just so different. It is the largest ecosystem on the planet. It provides more than 90% of all the habitable space on Earth. It comprises a significant portion of national waters and is connected to the coasts and the sea surface. And with most of the deep ocean still unexplored, there is no place on the planet that we know less about. And yet it is extraordinary. There are corals as old as the pyramids, glow-in-the-dark sharks, and blind white crabs that farm bacteria that they eat on their arms. It regulates our climate, it supports our fisheries, it is an integral part of our culture and the well-being of local communities around the world. And something really incredible is that the international deep sea floor forms part of the world's common heritage. And that means that it belongs to all of us. It belongs to everyone who is yet to come. And it is remarkable that all of us have this sense of ownership and connection to this vast and important part of our planet. But it also creates, of course, enormous responsibility. Because the deep ocean is in peril, when we explore, we find new species, but we also find our trash. And it's not just pollution and climate change, it is our exploitation of the deep ocean is increasing at an astronomical rate. And there are new threats like deep sea mining, which are being pitched as essential for sustainable development, incorrect, or critical for defense, also incorrect. And there are so many unresolved questions of equity as well. Who does the science in the deep sea? Who makes the decisions and on what basis? And who carries the burden when things go wrong? And if we proceed without fully understanding what we are stepping into, we will lose parts of our planet before we know, understand, and value them. But tides are changing, and there is so much to be hopeful about. So small island developing states like mine are already on the front lines of the ocean crisis, and we should also be on the front lines of discovery. And in just a few weeks, we will be. I'll be leading what I believe is the first locally led deep sea expedition in Trinidad and Tobago and possibly the Caribbean. And so we're going to be shining a light on ecosystems that may be as iconic and important as the Okavango Delta or the Himalayas or the Grand Canyon. And these are ecosystems that are entirely our own and discovered for the first time by our own people, which is very exciting. The ocean is global, and so its stewardship should, of course, be as well.
Sir David Attenborough's chief researcher, Kate Strether, explained the purpose of his media award-winning documentary, Ocean.
For this film, the ambition was to tell the story of the ocean in a new way that would inspire audiences worldwide. We wanted to create a truly cinematic, scientifically accurate story that would show the ocean as never seen before, revealing truths previously hidden and deepening public understanding of our connection to the ocean. Every creative decision, from the film's narrative structure to the cinematography and our release strategy, was guided by a singular mission to drive global action for ocean recovery. As Sir David says so powerfully in the film, if we save the sea, we save our world.
Coji Senanayake was this year's youth winner from the island nation of Sri Lanka.
My story begins in Sri Lanka, a small island nation in South Asia, where the ocean has been my second home for as long as I can remember. While the ocean supports the livelihoods of many in our country, this close relationship can sometimes lead to indifference, as seen by the litter scattered on our beautiful beaches. My own awakening occurred when I was around 9 years old, when I saw a turtle washed up on shore that had suffocated on a plastic bag. That experience and my love for animals compelled me to act. So I began taking small, day-to-day actions to protect the environment on an individual level. After starting with simple actions, I wanted to broaden my impact even further. Therefore, in 2023, when I was 16 years old, I turned to climate advocacy and launched Sea Green. which uses creativity to foster ocean awareness and climate action starting at a very young age. With this goal in mind, I wrote 2 books, designed 3 jigsaw puzzles which show the beauty of the world we live in, and designed a board game titled Seascapes, which highlights the biodiversity of the ocean. I then distributed and continue to donate these resources to students, and I'm proud to say that over 10,000 children currently have access to these resources through their school libraries. I believe no one should be left out of this climate journey irrespective of their circumstances. So I converted these books to Braille and donated them to the Deaf and Blind School of Ratmalana, and also Sahane, which is the National Council of Mental Health in Colombo.
Marce Guiterez Graudins, the founder of Azul, a Latin Ocean Justice Movement, was winner of the Excellence in Action Award.
15 years ago, Azul started. It was a very small effort, just what fit in my backpack. This effort, which just started as a way to ensure that conservation included my family, our communities, and really all the communities that depend on the ocean, is still here today somehow. In this time, we've learned that science tells us what's at stake, science shows us the way, and it gives us the solutions, but really it is people and the pathways we create for them, we co-create with them, that make those solutions a reality. Because at the heart of our work, the heart of Azul's work, is a deep belief that we must create these real opportunities, real pathways for communities to take action, and that's what we've done for the last 15 years. At Azul, we weave together science, culture, policy, and organizing to create waves of community-led action. We work to make engagement possible, to make advocacy feel possible, comfortable, meaningful, and to ensure that people see themselves as leader in shaping the future of our ocean. And yes, it has been a very, very difficult year across the world, in our country. But even in these moments, I remain stubbornly hopeful. And, as an organizer, I can't mention this bad thing without giving you some hope. So I want to share with you the lyrics of a punk song, because there's nothing more punk than resistance, right? So the sleeping voice resounds within the flowers of every dawn ready to fight. The sleeping voice will awaken once more, and it will bring the life and that new world that among the storms we learn to dream. I call all of you to continue to resist and defend. More importantly, to dream and build for the future. Together, we will continue to prove that when communities lead, we don't just protect the ocean, we transform the systems that shape it.
And the Ocean Hero Award went to Julie Packard, the founder of the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and its recently retired CEO. She was introduced by New England Aquarium President Vicky Spruill and former National Aquarium CEO John Roccanelli.
Julie's passion for the ocean runs deep, but it's matched by this incredible steadiness of purpose and a grounded sense of what matters the most, including her love of family.
Julie has taught me so much about so many things, but there's 3 key words that keep coming back to mind: leadership, vision, and compassion. And really, especially I think the movement in modern aquariums began with this institution and your leadership of it.
When I think about when we first had the idea to build an aquarium here at the shores of Monterey Bay, and I think about how people were thinking about the ocean back then, of course, it was really different, and so much progress that's been made. Yes, it's been a few decades, but change takes time, and it's so inspiring to realize how the awakening to the ocean has happened over this time and carrying it forward, and that makes me really happy. So I also was thinking about the tenet here at the aquarium, which is we built this aquarium about this place. And the old adage about acting local and thinking global. Monterey Bay is an amazing example of the ability of the ocean to be resilient and to be reborn after an incredibly, pretty much decimated state. And as we know, it's kind of not such happy times in our nation and in our world right now, but the rays of hope for all of us, they always begin with people where they are, caring about something, and taking action on its behalf. And here in Monterey Bay, of course, we have living proof of that. That's one of the things that's so wonderful about running an aquarium here on the shores of Monterey Bay, because we can interpret all the life here that's amazing and then go out the door and you can see the fruits of the labor. And I always tell people when they come here, we have 40 million people living in the state, and I say this didn't just happen, that the coast of California looks so great and there's so much protected space, and that we have an amazing network of marine protected areas, and that our marine mammal populations are flourishing, and that all kinds of endangered species are recovering. It happened because people cared, and they voted to get great people in office, and they voted for the funding to make those changes happen, and they voted to move things forward on behalf of what they cared about. That's where it starts.
In challenging times like these, we can all use some inspiration, which is what our 2026 Peter Benchley Ocean Award winners provide us. To hear the entire 2-hour award ceremony, go to peterbenchleyoceanawards.org. And don't forget to check out the Aquarium Conservation Partnership at aquariumconservation.org. And of course, this podcast and much more at bluefront.org.
Thank you for joining us on the Rising Tide Ocean Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen, and leave us a review or share it with your friends and other ocean lovers. Follow us on Instagram and visit bluefront.org for more updates and additional resources. Rising Tide is a production of Blue Frontier, co-hosted by David Helvarg and me, Vicki Nichols-Goldstein of the Inland Ocean Coalition, with production support from Holden Hardcastle of Fluid Studios, Natasha Benjamin, and Nick Paz, and editing services provided by Charles Landon of Studio Cape May. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay hopeful and stay salty.
Off in the salty ocean, off where the waves roll free. The sparkling water rises, then crashes to the sea. Out amongst the breakers, you'll have no need to fear. It's true, it's the blue frontier. Off in the salty ocean, off to the blue frontier.
Sparky, come here, buddy. Sparky! There you are, good boy, Sparky.